What's going on, ladies? And damn it, Steven, that's the exact same picture I picked for the
I showed
thing.
it to you before.
Oh, I didn't see it. I had the other screens up. I was working vigorously to get this taken care of. As you
Wait,
can see, I've still got. Huh?
that's not the one that's the background of the show.
Oh, I know.
Oh, okay.
But that's the one that I've got for the movie specific. Uh,
Oh.
yeah. But, oh well, who gives a shit? So, anyways, welcome to a special episode of Two Guys in a Trailer. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. We're piggybacking off of the other little show that we do on Wednesday nights to bring you this special episode because we give a fuck. So, Steven,
So
we got a couple of movies. You got some background info brought up on our first film?
I have some background info on the movie, but I also have some background info as to how the movie came about. You motherfuckers,
Yeah.
fuck y'all. From now on, when
Well,
I make
specifically Johnny Drips.
yeah, exactly, who's not even in chat. Next time I make a poll asking for a fucking movie suggestion, I'm going to be damn sure that we have the suggestions beforehand and that no suggestions can be added. Because tonight, the first movie we're going to be talking about, at the behest of Mr. Johnny Dribbles, is Brokeback Mountain. So, background info. Brokeback Mountain came out in 2005. It's directed by Ang Lee. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger. Had a budget of $14 million and a box office return of $178.1 million. Heavy, your thoughts?
First of all, they overpaid. Second of all, horrible fucking movie. I give it 1 star because that's literally as low as I can get it.
I give it a 1.
All
right. On to the next one.
All right. Well, hang on. You got to tell me why you didn't like it, first of all.
Didn't like it.
But why did you not like it?
As a film, I thought it was bad. On to the next one.
Okay.
It's just not, I mean, it's like, I get it. Like, it was socially relevant. Like, I get it. Conversation, but it's not a good movie. Like, it's just not. Sorry.
So it gets a whopping 2 on our scale.
Yeah.
All right. On to the next one. The next one is
Den of Thieves, which was a pretty decent film, actually. 2018, stars Gerard Butler, 50
not
Cent,
Russell Crowe.
not Russell Crowe, 50 Cent, and O'Shea Jackson Jr. And it was directed by Christian Gudegast, I think is how you say that. Has a runtime of 140 minutes, budget of $30 million, and at the box office it brought in $80.5 million, and there is currently a sequel in development.
So it was a success.
Yeah, it was a success financially. Critically, if we look at the critical reception, not so much. Has an approval rating of 41%. Based on 126 reviews, and it has an average rating of 5.13 out of 10.
I think it'll get slightly better than that today.
I think so.
We go out on a limb. So this movie was brought to my attention by Dakota a while ago, and I said, "Yeah, we'll check it out. We'll put it on the list." And it just got overlooked, and finally, I was sitting there the other night. And I was just looking through shit to watch. I saw the thumbnail on Netflix. You can go see it on Netflix right now if you want to. I saw the thing pop up on Netflix for Den of Thieves, and I was like, well, this looks pretty interesting. And I decided to watch it. So the thing about this movie is we reviewed Heat not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
And I after I watched it, I recommended it to Bill Wickstrom, and Bill came back to me Sunday, and he was like, "Hey, pretty good movie, pretty good movie. It's a modern day interpretation of Heat with a less action, a lesser known cast."
Yeah.
So I started thinking about it, and I was like, "Well, damn, it kind of was. It's kind of that same deal."
Yeah, it's
So
very similar. It pays homage for sure.
yeah, there's definitely some lines of similarity. This movie also contains one of the most gangster dad to daughter's boyfriend scenes that has nothing to do with the rest of the fucking movie.
That shit was hilarious.
If they had cut that part out, it would not have up and it wouldn't have changed anything to do with the movie. But up until that point, the best father and son's boyfriend or daughter's boyfriend scene went to what's his name, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith in Bad Boys 2.
Oh yeah,
where Will Smith comes to the door holding a bottle of Hennessy. He's like, "I'm gonna fuck you up, motherfucker. Can you fight? Bitch, you can't fight," and all that shit. So up until I saw this scene, there's something terrifying about 50 Cent. Ain't no small guy. Curtis Jackson is fucking jacked. So let me talk to you, playa. First of all, that's my sign that I'm in the wrong goddamn house. Second of all, he opens that fucking garage door, and there's 40 fucking gangsters in there ready to tear that little kid up.
Oh yeah,
fuck, man, I have done fucked up. I could feel that kid's heart beating through his fucking chest. So, yeah.
And the Gerard Butler as a fucking
slash Russell Crowe. I'm not 100% sure that it wasn't Russell Crowe.
They literally don't even look.
They look exactly alike.
No, like not at all. But aside from that, I thought he actually did a really good job playing like the kind of, I would say, corrupt cop that he plays in that. He definitely he's not by the book as far as standard operating police procedures.
Yeah.
But he toes the line pretty well. And then the guy that plays the main bad guy, he did a good job.
Yeah. He's in a ton of things, but I've never known who he was. And Brittany looks up from at the very beginning of the movie, Brittany looks up and she's like, "Oh my God, it's the dude from Orange is the New Black." And I'm like, "That's where the fuck I know him from."
And then did you know who the driver was?
No.
That's Ice Cube's kid.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
He was pretty good. The entire movie, this movie does something brilliant that I fucking love. You go the entire movie thinking one thing, and then the last 3 minutes of the movie, that thought you had, you got it figured out. You got it figured out. The last 3 minutes of the movie flips the entire thing on its head. And you're like, fuck, I don't know anything. There was a couple of things that gave away the little twist at the end. Like the fact that there was a white guy, an older, middle-aged white guy driving the dump truck. And then now all of a sudden, Max Holloway's driving the dump truck. This doesn't make sense. Yeah. Something's here. And then if you remember back to the bar scene earlier in the movie where you're like, holy shit, that's Max Holloway. By the way, there was a handful of UFC fighters, like big names. Michael Bisping was in it. Max Holloway was in it. There was a couple other guys that are big name fighters that were in this movie. Yeah. And dude, I thought as a whole, I thought the movie had everything that a dumb movie guy like myself. Like I like the shoot 'em up movies. I like the car chase movies. Uh, Steven probably didn't like it as much as I did, but I
I thought
thought
it
it
was
was a
good.
great movie.
I thought it was good. It was fun. The twist, as far as the twist ending, I knew that something was up with that character. I didn't know to what extent. Like when it shows that he's at like after everything's happened, and then they're at that other bar and they're casing like the diamond place or whatever, and then you see that the girl that he was ordering Chinese that was ordering Chinese food, and that was kind of his into the reserve or whatever,
Yeah,
and she was at that bar, so it kind of like I'm assuming they were all working together and all that shit, right? I didn't see all that coming, but I did know that that character had to be more than just a driver. To me, that
yeah.
was kind of pretty clear.
But I think he did a really good job of convincing me, the viewer, that he's a dude that looks tough, acts tough. He's a really good driver, so he's earned a spot on this crew. But he's kind of a pussy. Like I think he did a pretty good job of convincing us that that was the case. And now that you mention it, the trailer is playing down here, and it just showed the guy. He looks exactly like Ice Cube, dude.
Look, Gregory Brown in chat just said Ice Cube's son looks more like Ice Cube than Ice Cube does.
He does. He does. I did not know that.
Yeah.
He
No,
looks like, dude, by chance, and see if you can look this up for me. Was he in Straight Outta Compton?
yeah, he was the one that played.
Because, yeah, he played Ice Cube in Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
Dude, I watched that whole movie and I was like, dude, this motherfucker looks exactly like Ice Cube.
Damn, this looks like Ice Cube's like son or something.
Yeah, I thought there was some kind of CGI shit going on. Like they didn't got they didn't got like the actual Ice Cube to reverse his age by 25 fucking years.
They fucking pulled some Irishman shit.
Yeah, exactly. They got the fucking triple cameras on him.
No, yeah, but I thought it was a really good movie. It was fun. It was action packed. It doesn't drag. The pacing's pretty good. The acting is solid. It's not like out of the park acting, but you don't expect that in these type of movies. It's competent. It's directed pretty well. I mean, I really didn't have any like major gripes with it. I didn't think it was good as good. I didn't think it was phenomenal. I just thought it was really. I thought it was good. I'd probably put it at like a 3.5.
Explain to me this, right? I just did a quick Google search, right? Gerard Butler's 50 years old, right? In this movie, he looks every bit of 50 years old. 50 Cent is 44 years old and looks nothing like a 44-year-old.
I think we're buffering.
Again,
Yep.
fucking perfect. Sounds about right.
Yeah,
But-
like,
50 Cent looks like he could. Gerard Butler looks like he could pass for the fucking early bird special.
Gerard Butler looks like he could pass away like soon.
He could pass for Social Security.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Plus, 50 been shot like what? How many times was he shot?
I don't know, 5-6 times.
Yeah.
To me, the best part of this movie, right? And you gave it a 3.5. To me, the best part of this fucking movie is when they get stuck in gridlock traffic and the main bad guy looks over at the dude and goes, all right, give me the saw. And they pull out a fully automatic saw rifle and just start yakking rounds into traffic. Like,
Oh yeah.
the blatant disregard for human life was just unfucking real. And it's like, you never hear about shit like this. This shit doesn't really happen. But then you start thinking, I mean, this shit could happen. It could. I mean, it's feasible that it could happen. And that's what I really like about this movie is like nothing in this movie is unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, it's all.
Yeah.
I mean, what could you say is unbelievable? Them being able to get into the Federal Reserve?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. If if you had somebody on the inside, right, which clearly they did, that could give you the procedures and give you the maybe the throwing the bags of money out and causing a rolling blackout and shit like that, maybe slightly,
It's
but
exaggerated.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm
But
not
it's
saying
not,
it couldn't be done, but I think it'd
dude.
be a
There's a
lot
lot of
more.
fucking stupid people on this planet that would be like, "Hey, why is the power's out again? Just everybody leave."
Well, and I say that there's no way they could get in. I also would have thought there was no way that you could just run across the front lawn and get into the White House, and that happened a few years
That
back.
happens.
So,
It's happened 3 times already.
yeah, it could maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Fuck, I don't know. Maybe you can just walk into the fucking Federal Reserve in like a fucking Chinese restaurant delivery uniform and walk in. Who knows? I'm not saying
maybe.
to do it, and I wouldn't suggest it. Suggest I can't talk. Fuck it. I wouldn't suggest it.
50 got shot 9 times apparently.
9 times.
Yeah,
And the motherfucker still has abs.
yeah, like a lot of them.
Yeah. Oh, he got
No,
an 8-pack.
bro, he's got more than 6.
He probably has more abs than times he was shot.
He's got a solid 12 in there. 50's got the abs that run down the side that look like big ass ribs.
Have you ever seen the movie Inside Man with
Can't say
Denzel
that I
Washington? Denzel Washington and I think Clive Owen or whatever the fuck his name is. That's a good fucking movie, and this movie kind of reminded me of it. And like it's a really intricate bank robbery setup, and
Yeah.
then the ending comes out of left field. Like it's not in any way what you expect would happen.
That's called Inside Man.
Inside Man. It may be on Netflix or uh, Amazon. I saw it on one of them. Hold on, I'll tell you. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's directed by Spike Lee, and like I said, it's got Denzel Washington in it, and Clive Owen, and Jodie Foster, a bunch of people in it. It's pretty fucking good.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So, you gave it a 3.5. If I give it a 4, we wind up at a 7.5. And that's on par with Underwater, Outbreak. I feel like it deserves more than that. And although,
Yeah, but you can't base your score off of what my score
but
was.
I can compensate.
But that's
Because
not fair.
I'm not gonna give it a 5. I'm not gonna give it a 5 at all. Right? That's not gonna happen. But what I can do is I can give it a 4.5 and sleep tonight that I gave this movie a 4.5, because that puts it in the 8 realm where you're talking Spencer Confidential, which again, great movie. I think this one deserves to be up there, and if I got to pad my score to get it to where I think it deserves to be, because I think the people over at Rotten Tomatoes got it wrong, so I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I enjoyed it, cover to cover, inside and out. And no,
If you can pad yours one way, I can pad mine the other way.
that's not padding your score. Padding your score is making it higher on purpose.
Okay, so what do you to call it when you lower it on purpose?
Line.
Deflate gate. I'm deflating my score to 3.
No, how about this? How about we meet in the middle? You bring yours up to a 4 because you didn't really have any huge gripes with it. I think 4 is around the good, worth a watch area.
Well, see, to me, 4 is great. And that's what I was saying. Like, I don't think it's a great movie. I just think it's a really good movie. So I gave it a 3.5, assuming that you would give it a 4, that would bump it to that 7.5, right in realm with those movies that I think are good, not great. They're right at the precipice of good, but not great.
Yeah, but
There's nothing about this movie that sets it apart from like your average bank robbery movie. Like there's no action sequence that blew me the fuck away. There's no John Wick level action scene. I did like the shootout in Gridlock. I'll give you that. That was a really great scene, but it wasn't.
dude, the opening
phenomenal.
scene where they knock over the Wells Fargo truck was brilliant.
It was a good scene.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good, but I just don't think the movie's a great movie.
I
And you
don't
think
think
it is a
I
great
don't.
movie because you're giving it a 4.5.
Yeah, to pad it up to an 8. If you would meet
Yeah,
me
but
in the
that's what I'm
middle,
saying. You can't
if
do
you
that because
if
that
you would
means
meet me in the middle and give it a 4, so I can give it a 4, and we give it an 8 because
yeah. But then
I think it
I'm lying to
deserves
the
to be in
people.
that 8.
I'm lying to the people at that point.
I can sleep with myself giving it a 4.5. I don't think it's a 5. It's not on. It's not on the level of 1917 or what's the other 10? We gave out a 10 not too long ago. 1917 Ford
Ford v
versus
Ferrari.
Ferrari, and then the first one was Warrior.
No.
I don't think it's
What
on
do we
par
have
with.
at? What do we have at? Like the 9.5 realm, because that's where our 4.5s are at. Nines and 9.5s. Is it on par with our nines and 9.5s?
No, if you give it a 4 and I give it a 4, it's an 8.
Right, but you're giving it a 4.5.
Yeah, and you're giving it a 3. If you're
Seven and
giving,
a half.
I'm only giving it a 4.5. If you're giving it a 3.5.
That's not how this works.
If you give it a 4, I'll give it a 4. We'll call it a fucking day.
Okay, so if you're gonna give it a 4,
I'll give it a 4.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
You're a fucking asshole.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I'll meet you halfway.
Well, I'm pulling rank and I'm giving it a fucking 8.
Well, the real score, ladies and gentlemen, is a 3.5.
No, the real score
me.
is an 8 because you're giving it a 3.5. I'm giving it a 4.5 because I think that's where this deserves to be. We gave Ex Machina and Extraction an 8.
Yeah, I think Extraction is better than this.
I think this is just as good a movie as Extraction.
I think Extraction's better just because of the 20-minute fucking uncut scene where that was great. That was a great scene. That's what I mean by great bullshit versus good. I would say this is good. I think they definitely got it wrong.
So
and it deserves more than a 5, but I don't think.
Do you think this is half a point lower than Heat, seeing as how we can draw lines of similarity?
Do I think it's a half a point lower than Heat? I think it's lower than Heat.
By how much?
Probably about a point. And I don't remember what we gave Heat.
A full point.
I would say so.
I think the only thing that Heat has over this movie is the cast, right? And that's only because it has big names.
Well, I just like the way Heat kind of.
Well, I did knock Heat for Val Kilmer, so fuck Val Kilmer. I stand by that.
Yeah, but the thing I liked about Heat was like the tension, like between the two main characters, and like the fact that you never see them together up until like that pivotal fucking coffee scene, and it's like all this tension and shit, and nothing's even happening. It's just a conversation, but it's just filmed really well, and like I like that build up. Whereas this, you know who the bad guy is immediately. The bad guy figures out who Gerard Butler is almost immediately. There's really no tension, and you know that the bad guys aren't going to get away with it.
Dude, but there's two of the most gangster scenes in film history in one movie. Gerard Butler goes to the main bad guy's girlfriend's strip club, takes her home and fucks her, and he walks in on it. That's gangster move number 1. Gangster move number 2 is 50 Cent pulling the young man off into the garage for a minute and scaring the holy fuck out of him. And then 3, Ice Cube's son is the fucking mastermind and plays this insignificant role as some pussy car driver brilliantly, so much so that at the end of the movie I had to rewind it and watch it to make sure I heard what I just heard.
I give it a 3.5.
I think okay. Well, I'm giving it a 4.5, so it'll stick at an 8 because I think that's where it belongs.
You saw it here, folks, with your own eyes. Corruption.
It's not corruption.
All right, so it gets an 8.
Okay, so if anybody out here has seen the movie Den of Thieves, let me know what your rating on a 1 to 10 scale is. A 1 to 10, give it a 1 to 10. Do you think it deserves an 8? Do you think it deserves a fucking 3? If you've seen the movie, throw it in chat right quick. We got fucking 20 people watching. Throw it in chat right quick. Let's see what everybody else says.
I think 18 people are going to say they haven't seen it.
This is the most controversy we've had in a fucking movie so far.
Yeah, because my whole point is that I can't give like if we saw when you were given when we were talking about Collateral, and I said that was one of my favorite movies, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think I gave it a 4.5 because I said maybe it's not perfect, but I think it's 4.5. You gave it a 4. I could have just been like, well, you know what? I think technically it should be a 9 or a 9.5, so I'm just going to give it a 5 anyway to pad my score. I didn't know this was an option.
Okay. Well, now that you know it's an option, it's not a huge fucking deal.
No, it's not a huge deal. That was the argument I was making. I think I'm feeling argumentative tonight. Gregory Brown says it's an 8.5.
Yeah. And Dakota
Gregory.
Simmons says 8. That's 2 people that have seen it that are in the fucking chat that say it deserves a goddamn 8. So I don't know why you can't give it a 4. I can give it a 4, and we can fucking close the books on it.
I'm just sticking with 3.5.
Okay, well, I can sleep at night giving it a 4.5
That's
because
your
it's
prerogative.
it is a movie that I could go back and watch a year from now, 2 years from now. It's got longevity because it's a good storyline. Just like I had fun watching Heat, even though it's fucking 15 years old. I still had fun watching it. I was still engaged with it, even though it's an older movie. Brittany, you can't give it no goddamn 2. Get out of here.
I think the difference between a movie like this and a movie like Heat is if this movie comes on TV in 10 years, I'm not going to be mad if I sit down and watch it. Like, I'm not going to be mad that I have to sit through it, and I'm going to enjoy parts of it. Whereas Heat is a movie that 15 or 20 years later, people seek out to watch still. I don't see Den of Thieves being that movie. And I think that's what separates a great movie from a good movie.
Well,
that's a pretty solid argument.
Southern Comfort gives it a 4.5. I'm assuming that's out of 5.
No, that was out of 10.
No, it wasn't.
So that knocks it down. And then
misheard.
Next Phase New says it is okay, which to me is like a 7.5, 7, maybe even a 6, really.
Well, we got an 8, an 8.5, and Brittany said it's an 8. So we're going with majority rules here. I'm sticking with a 4.5. You're sticking with a 3.5. Bada boom.
Fine.
Bada boom. I can live with that. So, do you want to?
Well, in that case, I'd like to go back and give Brokeback Mountain a 5 to pad my score.
No, we're sticking with 1s. That movie was horrible. So anyways, you want to get into what we've got going for the next couple of weeks? We actually talked about it earlier today, and see, he said no out of 5, so it's a 4.5, bitch. That puts it on his scale on 10 out of fucking 9. So eat dicks on that, fool. Anyways, so do you want to? Yeah, because if you bump the scale up to 10.
No, I understood that part. I just understood why it led to eat dicks full. I didn't. Oh. That was where you lost me.
Because you put words in his mouth trying to use his words against me, and it turned out to bite you in the nuts.
He said 4.5. You said put the score in the chat on a scale of 1 to 10.
And then he says no out of 5.
Right.
So it's a 4.5 out of 5. Brittany has a special request. Can we do Jaws on 4th of July? I think that's a fairly 4th of July appropriate movie.
I'm down.
Oh, we could do that and Independence Day.
Yes.
I'm down for Independence Day. Okay, so for the next 3 weeks, we're going to do an action movie showdown. And I would assume that Steven, looking at his phone, he's getting ready to put the poll up in the Facebook group now so we can get y'all to go over there and do the poll. Can you go ahead and do that while I'm explaining what we're doing?
Absolutely.
That's what you were already doing, right?
That's what I was doing.
Oh, absolutely. I knew it. Yeah. See? Me and him, me and Steven have this wavelength thing going on. I could read what he was doing. So what we're going to do is
always heard.
I think it's fair to say that myself and Steven are fans of the action movie genre, right? I have my preference to horror movies. he has his preference to like LGBT, stuff, whatever. But I think we meet in the in the middle with action movies, right? We both love a good action movie. So there's been a heated debate before about what is the best franchise of action movies. And so if you go over to the Facebook page, the link's down in the description. If you go over to the Facebook page, you can participate in the poll. We're putting up The Matrix, Mission Impossible, and what was the other one?
The Daniel Craig James Bond movie.
The Daniel Craig James Bond movies. So not the entire James Bond catalog, not the entire Mission Impossible catalog, but any 3 movies out of the Mission Impossible, The Matrix, and 007 franchise, right? Which one of those franchises do you think are the better movie franchise? So the post will be up.
It is up now.
Okay, the post is up now. Good job. The poll's up. So
because that's what I was doing.
Exactly. I knew that. That's why I started talking about it. So how we're going to do it is we're going to leave this open until Sunday of this coming up Sunday, and then we're going to look at the results. Whatever is number 1 is going to get first priority. So next week we will be talking about the number 1. The following week we'll talk about the number 2, and the week after that we'll do the number 3, which will bring us to just about July 4th. If my math is halfway decent, that'll be 1, 2, 3. So yeah, the following would be the 29th, which puts us close to July 4th. So we'll do Jaws the week after that.
Perfect.
Hey, we could do the Jaws franchise. They got 3 movies, right?
Could. Or we do Jaws in Day, like you said.
Isn't there 3? 5.
Yeah, there's a lot of Jaws.
Jaws 5. Revenge of the Tuna.
Jaws 5. Stop going in the fucking water.
Yeah. Bro, Sharknado.
Dude, I watched Sharknado. I can't remember which one I watched because there are multiple, which is a fucking travesty.
It's an absolute travesty.
But it was awful, dude. Like, I remember there was sharks and there was in a tornado, and somehow one of the sharks got chainsawed. It was the worst fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was Sharknado 2.
Was that the second one?
Yes. The sharks with the chainsaws. That was Sharknado 2. So yeah, that's it. That's what we've got. Next week, look out for whatever we're doing. Make sure you go join the Facebook group, participate in the poll. There are no right-in answers, so we're not getting stuck with Brokeback Mountain again. We clarified that.
And you said the link was in the description, right?
Yep. Link
to the group
is down there in the description. So, Den of Thieves gets an 8. I highly suggest you go watch it if you like a damn good movie. Other than that, we're out. We'll see you guys regular scheduled time, Monday, 8 o'clock Central.
Later, guys. Problem.